Welcome to another MPA Production stream. I am the guild leader from the Music Production Arena community. It's a live stream we do Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. We're starting it late today. Technical difficulties with the internet. It's not even my internet. I share internet with my brother, and more about that later. But so when the internet is working, we usually don't have a problem with the live stream, but sometimes it's out of my control. Today, since we're starting an hour late, the stream might only be an hour. And because I still got to go do something, at the same time I normally do. But to make up for that, I might do a second stream later tonight or something. We're continuing with the community collabs. I'm actually going to jump right into it and skip over most of the announcements since we're an hour late. And I'm just going to jump back into making samples. Hey. Just making sure everything's going here. Let me turn off the starting soon sign. A little bit of a weird stream today, but it's going to be okay. And now my phone's... Okay. Silence all calls. Headphones on. Gonna skip announcements, gonna skip all the other stuff, and just jump right back into what we were doing yesterday, which is creating loops from the samples that we've been collecting. The MPA community collabs. Right. Okay, so this is the MPA Community Collabs. This is week 3, season 2. We've collected a bunch of samples from members of the Music Production Arena community. And now we're taking those samples that were collected. Pull up the spreadsheet here. Taking all the samples that were collected, and I'm trying to organize them into loops and folders and naming them with the key, the BPM, producer names, information like that. So we're taking the content, we're sorting it, organizing it, rendering loops, getting ready for creating the songs. Doing it in the step-by-step process really sets you up for, I think, for a better song, or at least a better time in the studio trying to create a song. If you first collect the content, then you build yourself to loops and you name it and organize it properly, and then you figure out which loops go good together, and then from there, once you got great ideas, solid ideas collected, you start building the song. And that's the way it's kind of the plan for this season. All right. Yes, so sorry about the internet, everyone, today. It's just my internet's being slow, really buggy, and I can't call them myself because it's not my account. So I had to wait to hear what was happening. So, all right. What is that? What? Okay. So this is our little spreadsheet document that goes along with this. I shared it with all the people that are participating, and I can share it again just in case anyone didn't get it. But this is going to keep track of the collabs. We did the same thing in season 1. I'm going to try to make this one even better. This right now is kind of just, I got to still work on it. But once we get this going, it's going to have the links to the sample packs for each collab. And more information. It also has, a list of all the people that have sent the samples to us, and we're going to be going through this list today and continuing to find these samples. And Diety, I think I got another pack from you. Let's see here. Okay, so and Diety. All right, for those that tune in today and kind of miss and don't know what's going on, and your today's stream is not the best stream to catch up, so I recommend listening to some of the previous streams from the season. You'll find all those episodes, streams, episodes, whatever you want to call them, on the Music Production Arena YouTube. There's a playlist for season 2 as well as season 1 if you want to really go catch up on what we've been doing and how this is going down. So, anyways, and Diety has sent a lot of samples. Diety, member of community, was part of season 1 as well and contributed quite a bit, and so it's really fun, and I'm excited to see Diety returning to season 2. yesterday. We went through a lot of samples yesterday, creating loops out of Entity's pack. So now I'm gonna see what else we got here. Opening an FLP. What we got? Okay. Serum, Ozone 9, and Thicify. Alright, so this is an FLP and Deity sent to me. We're gonna explore it. Explore it. I have a idea for a series I'm gonna definitely probably do, maybe. And it's gonna be called the I'll save it. I'll save my idea. Let's forget I said anything. I want to do some videos of me working with it, but I've got enough projects right now. I don't want to start anything new. I don't have time. Okay, green going here. All right, here we go. Day 2, week 3, season 2, MPA Community Collabs, creating loops. Got Entity's FLP pulled up here. Entity's looks like the one we did yesterday, so I think this ain't a different one. So that's that one. And this is the Death Step whip. It's just zipped up, so I need to open this zip. That's what we'll do. We go to the MPA samples online, MPA collected samples. Oh, wrong folder. That's a sample and deity pack. Go to that same folder, which is Death Step song. I'm just gonna unzip this. I just like to work with unzip folders. They load faster, I think. I don't know. Zero. Extract all. And original there. Okay. Oh, minimize that. And refresh this page. Let me get. So Andity's trying to guess my idea. I guess I'll say, Andity's saying, let me guess. You want to see how other people work in FL or something like that. You're very close, but it was going to be called a series. I wanted to do a video series, and I still might do it, called the FL. I can't remember what I was going to call it. FLP Explorer or FL Studio Explorer. I think I was going to call it FLP Explorer. That's what it was. The FLP Explorer. I don't know if I'll still call it that, but what I wanted to do is explore other people's FLPs and work with them. But I was going to start the series by going through all the a lot of the demo projects FLP FL Studio has. You know, if you go to their demo projects, they've got about 50 projects that they've released over the years. As they release new versions, they put new demos in there. I've gone through those demos so many times, like way back in the day when I first got FL, way back in the day, maybe FL Studio 7. I started going through those demo versions and reverse engineering them. And that's how I taught myself FL Studio. And I recommend everyone doing that. Another fun thing to do is to erase all the MIDI data and use the template to create your own song. You know, just like a huge preset template, basically. I've never done that with the other person, someone else's FLP, but I've done that with the demo projects. FLP Explorer. Now that I don't know if I'm actually going to record those videos or even call it that, but I definitely want to at some point when I run out of ideas or want to work on some new content or something. I'm talking about like something I've never done really, which is record a video and then edit it down to an actual like a edited video. I don't want to edit videos, so I don't want to. That's why I really haven't done it. And that's why I like the live stream format, because it's like, you know, there's no editing here. You mess up, you mess up. If the internet goes down, the internet goes down. All right, so we're now in Andity's project, and Andity is mentioning that I might want to turn down some of the volumes. Let's start by throwing this limiter here. Detach it. What are we looking at? Okay. I'm not going to be using Ableton this week, maybe next week, but Ableton is going to be used in probably weeks 5 and 6 when we're building loops. When I'm throwing all these loops together, I could easily do it in FL. Don't get me wrong, but actually Ableton's going to be quicker, easier, and I've just always wanted to get better with Ableton. So I'm going to be using Ableton. So this week, like I said, we're creating a lot of loops, and next week we're going to be creating a lot of loops. And the best thing about creating all these loops that are going to be named and organized is we can just quickly drop all the loops into Ableton, into these little cells in the session view here on Ableton, and we're going to be able to. It's going to put all the little time stretch markers on it automatically, and we're going to be able to mix and match all the loops together and find it. Just, it's going to be fun to figure out which loops work good together. That's how we're going to figure out who's collabing with who, you know, kind of throw everyone's name into a hat situation, you know, but kind of like just see what samples sound good together. And that's why I'm not too worried and stuff about the BPM and everything right now, because of course Ableton, we can do all that right here. Throw them in there, pitch them around, time stretch them, all kinds of fun stuff. And resampling back and forth between FL and Ableton, chopping it up. And I don't know how to use Ableton that great. It seems to come natural to me just because I guess I've seen so many videos on YouTube, but I still don't know how to use it because I've never really crash coursed myself through it. I've even done a lesson on it before and then realized I shouldn't have given a lesson on something I didn't know. But the person wanted to know music theory more than Ableton, so I was just like teaching them music theory, but on Ableton. And I also was trying to teach someone how to use Massive plugin, but I was on Ableton, and I didn't know how to use Ableton, so it didn't go so well. All right, this is the Untitled project. Got. So I want to listen to the whole thing. Or do we want to start rendering samples? I guess listen to the whole thing first. Loud, but I can turn it down, no problem. I mean, there's still a lot of loud stuff here. I try to turn down the level on OBS. Actually got it way turned down. Sick. Oh, I really like that very last sample. Okay, this is cool. Let's get these loops rendered out best we can. I'm not, just as I was mentioning yesterday, I can't be too perfect as I do this, so if I miss something or forget something, feel free to send me the loop yourself or whatever, and talking to whoever I might be rendering. Because honestly, I don't mind doing this since it's a big part of the stream. It gives me something to do, which is render these loops, but y'all feel free to send me perfect loops to begin with. By perfect, I just mean stuff that is already ready to go, seamlessly loops. I love these FLPs, so I don't want anyone to misunderstand what I'm trying to say. I love that Andidi sent me an FLP. It gives me a good stream. You know, I need content for the live stream, so this is content for the live streams. Going through Andidi's FLP and messing with it. It also gives me a chance to kind of work with the samples if I want to go ahead and start EQing them or something, preparing them for what I have in mind, stuff like that. So what do we got here? Looks like the loop is about this long. All right. Let's see what we got here. I'm gonna turn on this automation clip just in case it's important. These as well. And the volume keeps ducking. I mean, turning itself off when I start it back over. What could be causing that? Is it these? Oh, that's this. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna go ahead and render it without. Well, you know what? I'm gonna render it with and without. So we're gonna go all the way here. There's a little jump up, but we're gonna go and leave it. You know, the reason why we don't really need the sidechain now is because we're gonna be adding our own sidechain when we pop the samples in. So it's kind of important that I turn off sidechain. And I can almost do the same thing with this automation clip because we can do that ourselves in the thing, but we don't have to. Let's see. Let's just go with the full thing, and we can add that automation back when we're doing it live, if we even remember. We'll just do whatever it calls for. Let's go ahead and give it a full 4 bars, though. Oops. Put that back where it was and turn it up over here. All right, cool. I like that sample. Let's see here. The IDC death step base 150. And is this project in C still, or did you stretch it around? Assume it's still C. Okay, the automation is pulling this thing back down. This is all part of the exploration part of the project, where when you're exploring the other people's FLPs, that's the fun part. It's like you don't. It's like things happen. All of a sudden, you're like, what's causing that? And then you go kind of like figure it out. Right now, I'm noticing that we have automation on this right here. It's linked to IDC desktop 150 volumes. Like, I don't know. But anyways, there's a link to all there. But it's not gonna be a big deal because I am gonna turn it up. Actually, since this is just rendering it out, I'm gonna unlink this and hit reset. Reset. That did not help. So what I'm gonna do is initialize position to go here. Initialize position. Here we go. That fixed it. It did the other thing. What you actually got to do is go over here to this. Go to project. Current projects. Current projects. Remote controls. And IDC desktop 150 volume. And you got to delete this or something. Where is it? No, that's not what you do. Anyway, something like that. But anyways, it's not a big deal. We're just gonna go. Oh, initialize controls. It's right here. Delete. Delete event. Now it works. Okay, I was going to start rendering this stuff. Let me go. Copy. Render. Public patch. ID. I'm going to put them all together for now because they're going to be labeled differently. So we got ID. C. I like you actually the way you do underscores and everything. I usually do that. I started not putting underscore between. Anyways, it doesn't matter. That's just me like overthinking. And C major death step. What is this? 150 underscore C. There we go. We'll just keep the rest of it. I'm deleting this stuff just so it's not too long. It's all not that important, but the most important part here is the producer name, BPM, the key, and I put a date so we can just keep track of when these things were resampled. Basically 19, 10, 21. And I just do it in this order, so everything's more uniform. But y'all don't have to worry about that because I do that myself. What I noticed about Indity puts it pretty much in the same format as me, which is really nice. There's good formats, and I'm not even doing the best myself, but there's some formats where you put your samples in. Programs are designed now. A lot of loop libraries and apps and programs will read your file name, and they'll find all the information they need to find from your name, but you have to make sure it's in there, right? And you also got to make sure there's nothing else in the name that will confuse it. Like if there's like a G and an F on their own, they might get confused. They don't know which one. Just a little handy tip when it comes to naming your files. Go. 150C. That's the loop. Render cut remainder. There we go. All right, looks like there's some variation over here, so let's go with this one. Nice. Go Control R. Always hit the wrong folder first. I don't know why. Right, and back to the anxiety pack. Do some housekeeping here. Date modified. Thank you very much. And we'll go the same. It's gonna belong on the same track, so I always just keep the file name exactly the same and just put a 2 or 3 or 4, whatever. It doesn't matter what else is in the file name. That's just what I always do. That way, so when I'm putting this back into a project, I know that these basically belong on the same mixer track. Save. Okay, so what do I see here? Different variation. Looks like there's a lot of variations here. Nice. Render. Three. Okay, so this is the public pack. We're sharing this pack. Let's see, where's it at? Let's see if I already got it. MPA samples online. Collected samples. Public pack. I should just share this, save this link somewhere where I can easily access it. Public pack. I want to start giving this out now because I think if people have the samples and they start working on samples and projects now, they're just start messing around, they might come up with stuff they can send into the collab. So giving out the samples now, as quick as possible, getting them to people's hands and under their DAWs. Let me share this link here. All right, so there. I just shared. I don't know if I think Twitch, YouTube, D Live. There's a link in the chat if you're watching this. Should be, and I'll share it in the Discord as well. This is the link to all these samples I'm exporting this week and next week, and they're just going to go into that folder, and you can download those samples and start getting involved with the collabs. You know, just do your own version of the tracks. Doesn't matter what it is, if it's exactly the same people that go into the final. It doesn't matter. This is just a big collaborative project for fun. We're all in the sandbox together, and we're just, you know, messing with the Lego blocks. That's a weird analogy, but what I'm trying to say is this is a bunch of blocks, like Legos and pieces that we got, and we're all in this collaborative project together. And it's not just me doing it myself. I think we're all, like, anyone can create the control labs, use the samples themselves, and release the tracks on their SoundCloud with producer name, say, oh, MPA Community Collab, whatever. So we're all, that's why I'm uploading these samples and sharing them and giving them away. It's for whoever wants to download them. I know last season it was really just me doing it, but you know, I'm still making it available. Just this, maybe to catch on if I keep doing this. Eventually, people will start downloading the samples and creating their own versions of the collabs as we go along. Anyway, so as I export these out, as I export these samples out, I'm uploading them straight to the Google Cloud. So as long as as quick as my computer can upload them to the cloud, and you can get them, you can download them in real time. Basically, watch me. So there you go. There you go. Yeah, these all have different variations, so you definitely want to get these. Control R. This one has that really nice. Go back here and see what this is. Why is this here? New desktop. Oh, that's the project. Okay, that makes sense. Anxiety. Number 4. So there's like 4 variations on this. What we got so far. I'm looking at the rest. It looks like the same. I could be wrong, but if I had to just guess what we're gonna actually use, I think those 4 loops would probably be what we need. They're all different, huh? Yeah, we might as well get them all then. I guess so. You know, we're not going don't know which one we really want to use until we get them all. So let's keep going. MPA public ID. Nice. I like how these are all different. I'm gonna assume this last one's different as well. Go public back and ID 7. We got 7 variations of that. I mean, I could have. Yeah, I think it's good. So we got 7. There they all belong together. They all get dropped back into the same mixer track. Let's go to the next thing here. What is this? Drum beat. That's good. That's important. I think even on the feedback streams, Diana and stuff talked about variation quite a bit. I know I mentioned it too, but I also understand the power of just repetitiveness now. I don't like music to sound too repetitive ever. If I notice it's too repetitive, I'm like, oh, it's too repetitive. But I'm not that picky. I listen to a lot of music that actually would be considered too repetitive, and like certain styles of techno and other things like that that are designed to be really trancey in a way that like the trancey. But that outside of that, variation is probably the most important thing. Um, and even to clarify what I was just saying, even in those repetitive genres, there's still variation. That's what makes them good. A good track, even in the most repetitive genres, what makes that track good is the variation they do add. So variation is probably still the #1 key when making music with like loops and stuff like that. You have to make that variations, and the power of just the little bitty variations. Just the little bitty tweaks at the end of FL Studio. It's called Make Unique. So like, see here, we got pattern 1 going through here. For just do a quick example, I got pattern 1 here. I would quickly go, not necessarily in this project, but if I was to just be big and I had pattern 1, I'd go, okay, pattern 1, I would paint it out like this 4 times, but then I'd actually paint it out 2 times, and I'd make the second one unique. I'd go in here and I'd add a little something, let's just say. Then I'd double this, and then I'd make the last one unique, and then add a variation there. So now you have this 4-bar thing with these little variations here and here, but it still sounds repetitive in a good way because it has the same fundamental elements of each one, but you added a little variations here and there, and it keeps growing. So I would go even though those were different. So I'll undo this. You go here, and I'd make the very last one unique again, go into it, and add another variation. Then you got this whole thing here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom. There's the new loop with added variation. I'm real quick to do that, and then I do it all the way through the song. And if I was to copy and paste this to the second drop or whatever, I would make a variation at the very beginning, like the very beginning of the loop. Going back any farther, yeah. All right, cool. So let's reopen this. Let's render out this drum beat. I'm gonna do the drum beat and just separate. I'm gonna separate the kick and the snare and stuff. So we're gonna go 2, 3. Let's grab this first part here. I love that effect. We got a crash thing going on. Okay, four elements here. I just rendered as 3 though. I'm gonna layer the kick in this. The clap in this. I'm gonna layer these 2. Okay, so we'll render out 3 parts of this beat. The thing is, we got to see that this. My limits are back. Okay. Pull this over here. All right, so give ourselves a -1 dB ceiling. Keep things in control. Render out. All right, here we go. Getting some more loops. Collecting these loops. Go public pack. Deity. Make a fresh thing here. This is 150 BPM. If it doesn't have a key in it, like a drum thing or whatever, I just. And then we're going to go with all this snare. Keep it simple. Snare and deity, 150 BPM. Snare. The date is what gives it the most. What gives it a unique name. Because, you know, and Diddy probably, just in case we create another sample in another project and Diddy 150 snare, you know, so generic like that. It's okay because I put that date at the end. That's the important part about the date. Diddy 150 snare. So, go. That. That seems exactly the same. One. I can see that. Oh, there's a little snare roll thing there. That's cool. Turn to this one. Control R. Snare 2. It's a little variation. It's enough to just go and render it now and worry about it later. Public pack. Snare loop 3. Okay, there's 3. Okay. I'm not gonna remember what. It's okay. Let's go back here to these four bars and get the kick drum. We'll get the right crash. I don't know what I'm Spanish because I'm used to having like certain tools. So I can monitor the samples, where they look. You know, I can't always hear everything depending on how low you have your volume turned up and what headphones you're using and stuff like that. Nice. Probably leave remainder on this, but no, I mean. I'm gonna wrap remainder on this one. I'm exporting this one out. You have. I'm gonna call this crash. It's crash. Whoa. That was an accident. Try that again. Public pack, ID, title is crash, right? And I'm gonna go. You have cut remainder, leave remainder, wrap remainder. I'm gonna wrap remainder, so the tail. No, that's not what I want. I want to leave remainder. This is not gonna be a loop. It's gonna be a one shot. That's okay. Leave remainder. Start. Just because I want to get that. I want to get that tail at the end of it. It's just something I'm already just thinking ahead. I'm gonna go back to the sample here. Okay, collected samples. I'm gonna go and rename it. The public pack. Where are you, public pack? All right, there. Deity. Is there a way to set default file? I mean, folder settings. Date modified. Here we go. All right, this crash symbol here. I'm gonna rename it and put the word one shot in there because I mean most of what I'm running out here are loops. And I want to specify if things are one shot. So later when I'm dropping loops in, I'm not confused with what's happening. Okay, so looking at what we got there, lots of ID stuff. This is like half of the public pack ID crash 2. Nice, that has the stutter. Some of these, I like how these drums have the stutter effect, giving it, that's what gives it its variation. Oh. Crash 3. We've been green. I hope the stream went well. Had a really rough start. In fact, it's gonna be a short stream today because I started an hour late. But I'm glad we got started here. We skipped over announcements and stuff to kind of help pick up that time, but it was still kind of a, you know, stream. It wasn't normal, but it's okay. I may or may not try to do a stream later. I don't know. I can't make any promises, but to make up for time, we really need to spend a lot of time running around all these loops, and I want to capture everything on video. So I don't want to really do anything off stream. So I might do a stream later. I don't know. Think about it. Okay. Okay, so I left remainder on all those, called them all one shots. I'm gonna remember to fix that when I render out something else. I really like these effects. I see the gross tweets in action down there. Let's start with this one. Oh wait, you know what? I just forgot. It's the kick drum. Rewind. Go back up here. All right. Go here. Let's turn all this stuff back on just in case it's important. We forgot the kick drum. Here we go. enough. Okay. That's the loops. Tidy 150. All right. I'm gonna cut remainder. That one had a variation in it. I guess I'll send this. I guess I'll go to message all the people involved with the collabs and send this link to the sample pack directly to them, so they can start downloading. Just throwing it off into the streams like that, it's not really a good way to stay organized with. I need to put it also. Well, I'm not going to put it straight into the public post because I want people to come and watch the streams at least to get it or be involved with it. I mean, I wanted them to be involved with the collabs at least, but they don't have to be. Get all these different variations of this loop rendered and move on to those noise effects. All right, we'll come back up here. Really nice noise effects right here. I like that a lot. Yeah, it has a reverb tail. I'm gonna want to keep also. I like that a lot. And in fact, I'm gonna leave that reverb here. Let's turn the reverb off. We'll add it later. We want to make sure it fits into the song, whatever song we put it in. I left it on during the crashes. Excuse me. I forgot to turn the reverb off while I was rendering out those crashes. I may or may not go fix that. It doesn't really matter. We just work with whatever we get, but I will think about it. I'll think about it while I render this out. So this is dry. I don't have to render out the tail and leave the loop and all that. We can add the reverb later, and then we'll bring the tail back. So we'll go. This we call 150 effects. Enough. Cut remainder. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Variation here. Maybe. Oh, I gotta go to the end. That one. Right. Let's just get all these. They got all these different. Last ones will have different kind of gross beats on it. So let's get gross beat automation stuff happening. Let's get all the variations. Go 3. I really want to get Windows 11. I just don't want to go through the trouble of making sure everything still works perfectly for the next stream. You know, maybe I'll do it over the weekend. I don't know. I like it. I like the new look of it and stuff. I mean, I heard there was a lot of complaints, but I don't know why I didn't look into what the complaints were about. Maybe I should. Maybe I should look and see what they're complaining about before it doesn't work with OBS. Now, I think there hasn't been too many problems with software compatibility, but I don't know. I didn't, like I said, I didn't really research it enough. But I did watch some reviews on YouTube, and it looks good. I like it. I like it. Since we use Windows here on the live stream, it'd kind of be an update for the. Oh, Fox! I forgot to tell you. Oh, I forgot to tell some other people too. I know I finally went live, and I figured people get the little ping notification, but it doesn't. I guess not everyone gets that. I was my bad. Oh, we just been rendering out Untitled loops. No, I know. I was gonna tell you at least because you were messaging me when we didn't go live. So I was gonna at least message you and say, hey, I went live after all. But I forgot. I didn't even message Discord or nothing. I just went live. I just wanted to get the video recorded. If the internet didn't come back up, that's what I was gonna do. I was going to just record a video of myself working on it because I gotta get the work done. Gotta put in the work or it never gets done. So. And Diety says the complaints for Windows 11, I think, were about how the HUD is set up, like navigating was weird. Yeah, I think I could see that. And that's a really simple complaint because, you know how quick it is to actually just learn something else, Once you get to do it a few times, you get used to it. I like the icons in the center of the screen. I know that's just a look thing, and you can actually move them right back to the left. I just thought it was funny how many reviews and people I saw using it, like immediately moving the icons back to the left, bottom left screen, and I was like, I like the way it looks in the center, but I guess that is personal preference. But I think when they move to the left of this bottom of the screen, it just, it's fine. But I think when you move them to the center, it's just fresh look. But if you think about it, and not just MacBooks and Mac, I'm talking about all phones and mobile devices and a lot of things. A lot of the docks are in the center these days anyway. So honestly, what it comes down to is I think it's just a more modern look for this stuff to be in the middle. But honestly, it doesn't really matter. You can't put them up. You can't do all the same stuff you used to be able to do with the taskbar. So I heard some complaints there. See, Fox is saying I'd love to see an MPA video with actual editing. I was talking about that earlier, Fox. We even shared one of my ideas about being a FLP explorer. Put my explorer hat on. No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go that far. But anyways, I was thinking we were joking around about an idea of going through other people's FLPs, making videos about them, and I would make an edited video of it. But I'm actually not going to do that, so I'm not telling anyone I'm going to do that because I don't have any time right now. So, but I would love to actually make a video and not do the editing myself, but maybe get someone else to do it like a flashy YouTube edit. I don't know. I need better cameras also if I'm going to do any cameras. Anyways, and Diety Dub says they did the same thing with Xbox, but over the course of a couple of months, a few years back, I had to return where everything was 3 separate times. You talk about just the updates and the layouts and the looks and everything. Yeah. And I've mentioned this before. I like all different brands and tech, so I don't really choose. But that being said, I'm a Windows fanboy just as much as I'm a Mac fanboy. I'm not a hater. I love Windows. I think Windows is awesome, and I'm so used to using Windows that But I go over to my MacBook and I love Mac too. I'm just like, I love it. Once you learn both the programs, people get the wrong guy. They always think that once they learn one, it's gonna be hard to learn the other, and then they're gonna be confused when they switch back and forth. But I'll tell you right now, When I'm on my Mac, for some reason, I always know to hit Command and where it's at. And when I'm on the Windows, I always know to hit Control. Like, my brain knows what I'm looking at, and it hits the right buttons. So I don't even get confused. Like, if I'm looking at, it's like being in Ableton and being in FL. Like, if you were to learn both of them, you know, it's, or opening up a new plugin, you know, you got to learn the new plugin when you get a new plugin. It's like a new interface. No one knows the interface until you take the time to learn it. So it's like, once you learn it, you know it. It's not like knowing how to use Serum makes you forget how to use like Massive, or does it? I don't know. Here we go. Let's get some work done here. All right, so we rented out all these samples. I don't know if I want to get the crashes without the reverb. Should we? Or should we be lazy? Let's go back to the drums. Yeah, I think it'd be important to get those crashes without the reverb. Do it. Control R. Public pack anxiety. So here's the crashes here. I could just choose them all again and then put right. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna replace the files. So we go here and save overwrite. Overwrite. We're gonna add reverb later. Even though I can save your preset of your reverb if I have to. Just use the same reverb. Okay. 2. Three, 4, 5. I think these other ones were down here. Give me a second. I gotta double check something. Okay. Crash. There's 5 crash. Five crash variations. So I think pretty sure we 1, 2, and the last 3 came from here. 3, 4, 5. So R. 3. Right. Then I messed up. Let's start over here. Let's see what I did. Okay, public pack and ID. One shot again. Forgot to leave remainder. Okay, so Anxiety 150 crash. One shot. Overwrite again. Here we go. Leave remainder. Gotta do this right. Go. Second one had a variation. Control R. Public pack. Anxiety. Save. Overwrite. Leaving the remainder. That crash. We gotta get the tail of that crash. Probably gonna be important. Probably gonna wish we had it if we didn't do it. That's all I'm saying. Public pack. There. Go. Now we're moving. R. 4. Right. Oops. And let me get the last one. See, we weren't lazy. We went back. Got the crashes. Got the crashes right. Okay. Here we go. All right, so we got all the Anxiety loops from those 2 packs. We'll probably get more later in the week or as the season goes on. It's never too late to send stuff. DJ Shadow Wolf, good to see you. DJ Shadow Wolf's sending some stuff. Even was offering to do come up with some background vocals for some of the tracks later. So once we get some of the tracks together, I'll send them your way, Shadow Wolf. Maybe you can come up with some background vocals for some of them. You've also sent 2 FLP projects last season. We only used one of them, so we're gonna dive in to see the other one. And DJ Shadow Wolf actually sent an update to that. So I don't think we're gonna do it today on stream, but sometime this week we're probably gonna get to the DJ Shadow Wolf samples and start rendering them out. And after I render them all out as new loops, I'll be sure to make sure you get those. Reminds me. Shadow Wolf, if you look in the chat there, there's a link there to the sample pack that's going to have all the resampled loops for the whole entire collab project, all 8 tracks there. So save that. All right, dog is barking. All right, let's get out of this project. Let's move on. I'm going to pull up the spreadsheet. Looks like antimatter text. I'm going order here. So this is the document that goes along with the collabs. Everyone got this sent to them in their Discord. I I'm just going down this list. So the green, I have marked in green here, or this color here at the top, for all my colorblind friends. This first one here is the ones that have sent me samples, and we're just going in order. And as the other people send me samples, we'll just switch them over to the same color, and we'll create loops out of their samples. And we'll just get this. We're doing this week and next week. And we're giving those loops out in real time for download. Antimatter. Let's go to the antimatter pack, which is here. Okay, samples, collected samples, antimatter pack. Let's see what we got here. So we've, of course, we already listened to a lot of these samples as they were coming in last week, but this week we get to listen to them again and, you know, of course, get them into loops. Name them, organize them, hand them out. Some of the stuff's already going to be like that, so, you know, we'll just rename it if we have to. Some of the other stuff, we're going to have to come up with loops out of it. We're going to have to be creative. Some of this content sent to me, we're already going to have to start being creative, or I say have to be, I meant get to be, because, you know, that's fun. I'm just saying we're going to, before we move on and just render it out, we're going to have to spend some time getting creative with it and turning them into some loops that might be, you know, spark some ideas. So a lot of that being like the one-shots. Some people sent me some one-shot samples of different drums and stuff, and that's all they sent, which is great. Because I'm going to take those one-shot samples, we're going to stick them into some different sequencer programs and apps I have on, like, maybe my iPad and different VSTs I have, and we're going to generate using, you know, maybe some random MIDI generators, all different fun, different ways of coming up with some ideas and some loops. So part of this week and next, definitely happening next week, during the 2 weeks of rendering out loops, we're going to get creative. We're going to use some other plugins. First round is just making it through these folders and taking another peek at what we got and doing some quick renders. So here's the antimatter pack. Copy of Wob Wob. As you can see, some of this stuff's already going to be looped. Fine. See, but this is what I want to do. So see how this is not a perfect loop. So this is 150. The BPM of this project is 150. That Anxiety sent to me. I have FLP set at, I have a FL Studio set at 150. I dropped a loop in and we just have a problem. So main problem being that it's not lining up to the grid, but we're just going to resample it. Now, yeah, so you can see the dead space here. We were talking about this yesterday. It happens a lot, and it all just happens to be the way you process and render your sounds. And the problem, and we were talking about this a lot yesterday, is I don't want to mess up something that someone did on purpose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that there. Go back over here. I'm going to leave it like that. That way, so it's just a perfect loop. If we can adjust it further if it needs to be when we actually drop it into the project. But for now, if I'm going to render this out as a perfect loop, Ableton and other loop programs would have a problem with it if it was like it was when I first dropped it in here. It's past the grid, meaning it would not be a perfect 150 BPMs and it would cause a problem. So what I did is I chopped off a little bit at the beginning. I scooted this over, got this right at the very end here like that. And then we're going to re-sample this out just like that. So there you go. Now to loop at 150 BPM. But see, it could have been different reasons. It could have been a tail. It could have been a one shot all to begin with. It should not have supposed to be a loop. All these different things. That's why I'm leaving it intact and only cut off the very beginning. That way, when we actually drop it back into the project and we're actually trying to use it, we can move it back over if we need to. But from what I can tell, that's be just fine right there. Let's go. So this is, let's figure out the key of this. I'm going to, that's all I'm seeing from Untitled. I didn't know if they sent something else with actual like keys or chords. I'm not seeing anything here, but let me just listen to this. D? Is it a D? It sounds like it resolves on D. I'm actually not gonna, we can figure that out later. All right, let's go to render this. R, public pack. We're gonna make a new folder for Untitled. Not Untitled, antimatter, antimatter. I'm gonna go ahead and put pack on the end of all. Like the way it looks. Nice and pack. Pack. Oh, we gotta make an emerald pack there. Emerald. Maintenance. Oh yeah, and yeah, we moved on to antimatter. I'm sorry, I kept saying the wrong name. Antimatter now. We're working with antimatter samples. I've got, this is the public pack we shared here. So what we have so far is some samples from Alpha J, samples from Untitled, samples from antimatter, and we have a whole bunch of presets from Emerald. Right. Pack. Anti. 150 beats per minute. Let's leave the key blank. I'm gonna say called, yeah, blah blah blah. 19, 10, 21. Second. Overwrite that because I had no permanently run it. Probably wouldn't have mattered because there was no reverb effects on it anyways. I'm gonna cut remainder so I get that right. Cut remainder. And there we go. So we got that rendered. Let's go on to, here's copy of web process. Give me the same sitch on all this. Another way to do that is I can just go here, grab it like that, over here, do that like that. That could just be a tail. Don't get me wrong. Like I could be whatever, but the tail. The problem with the tail is it's not a perfect loop. So that's why I'm moving that over. If we need to move it, like, scoot it back over to the right later if I have to. So I'm just gonna do it like that. Control R, the processed version. Nice. Okay. Process. And that. These loops aren't, this style of loop is more like a riser situation going on. That's why it's not really important that it has to be a perfect loop. So I don't know, maybe that's why it wasn't. Copy of what I processed. I wonder what the difference is. You know, there is no difference. I downloaded everything twice, but I did on accident. So let's be sure not to render everything twice. We'll just do all the ones with the 1 on it. So we got a Foley hit. Probably the same all the way through, so we can just render out 4 bars of that. Yeah, it's the same all the way through. Let's go like that. See if the tail stops at 4 bars. No, but I still like it just to be 4 bars. Yeah, let's just go with a 4 bar loop there. Let's go control. Can we turn it up a little? That, and copy this. Render. Hit 1, 10, 20. Set remainder. Foley hits. And then last we have a fat melody kick. What it says. Oh, that kick is fat. Alright, so this is a 1 shot. What I want to do with this 1 shot. Make unique as sample. That's what you gotta do there. And drop it into the same pack. Public pack. Antimatter. Go. Kick. 1 shot. I think it's still a loop. I'm rendering it to the grid. You still cut 1 shots on the grid. That's the thing about 1 shots. I even like to cut my 1 shots on the grid and put the PPM in there. I don't always do that, but if you do that, it actually makes it really easy to just even just loop just a 1 shot like a hat or something like that. And it's just I got used to doing all that because a lot of iPad apps they're almost like finicky if you don't have everything just right and everything. But I find that if you get everything cut to the grid beforehand, it just makes life so much easier. Antimatter 1. That's a kick. It's a nice kick in the folder for those that want it. All right, Untitled. I'm about to take off myself. Thanks for checking out the stream. Sorry for the delayed start today and the other complications, but we'll be back at it again tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Thanks again, everyone that checks out the stream. See you later, Untitled. Have a good one. For everyone else, I am gonna get out of here. That was the last sample in the Untitled pack. We'll definitely make it through everybody's samples. Don't worry. Tomorrow we'll pick up where we left off, which it looks like it'll be basegenic samples, and we'll move on from there. If you still haven't sent me samples and you still want to, just it's never too late. Send them at any time, and as we get them and stuff, I'll check you off the list, and we'll do the same thing with your samples. We're preparing for the following weeks where we're going to take the loops and put them together and come up with great ideas for these songs. All right, this has been day 2 of week 3, season 2, MPA Community Collabs. I will be back again tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m. Eastern. If you're not already a member of our Discord, I do invite you to join us there. Keep up with me and all the other projects we have going on, other challenges and events. Great place to share tracks and get feedback. All right, talk to everybody later. Goodbye for now.